Welcome to the Big Picture Retirement Show, where you'll learn what it really takes to have a successful retirement. With over 20 years of experience, your host, Rick Rivera of Safeguard Investment Advisory Group, has seen it all and is here to help you achieve your retirement dreams. This is the Big Picture Retirement Show.
Welcome into the Big Picture Retirement Show with Rick Rivera. Rick, a partner at Safeguard Investment Advisory Group with Reed Aberdeen and Eddie Soda. Rick has over 20 years of experience in the financial industry. I'm Mark Elliott. Glad you're with us today. You can always learn more about the team at Safeguard just by going to the website, safeguardinvestment.com, safeguardinvestment.com. If you have questions about where you are on that road to retirement, can I retire? I think I've got enough. I hope I've got enough. But you don't really know, why would you not talk with a retirement planning team like Safeguard Investment Advisory Group? You can do so every week. Rick offers you the opportunity to come in and chat with them. No cost, no obligation, no pressure. 800-700-1980. 800-700-1980. Today we're going to have, a fun show, unique show, where you can learn a little bit more about Rick. What should you expect if you call that number? What happens? How does this play out? So we're going to talk about all that today. And I think it's really an interesting thing because I do think, Rick, when you're dealing with people's life savings that you do as a retirement planner, you've got to earn their trust. So you've got to, have stories and talk back and forth and all of that, learn their hopes and dreams for retirement and how can you help them if you can help them and all of that. So my thinking is, when you were in high school, your goal was not to be a retirement planner, or am I off base?
You're absolutely correct. When I was in high school, my dream was not to be a retirement planner. My dream was I wanted to be a pilot or a football player. Obviously, I got sidetracked between now and then.
I like that. So how did you get involved in this? I mean, where'd you grow up? Your office is in Corona. Always been a California kid?
No, actually, you know what? I was born in New York in Queens, and I had moved out of New York. Most of my family's actually back east, and I had moved out of New York when I was very young because my parents got tired of the snow in the winters and shoveling snow and all that. So then we moved to California when I was young. I was like in elementary school. We lived out in Rancho Cucamonga, Alta Loma area. They bought a cabin out in Joshua Tree, and then we used to go there on the weekends. Long story short, we loved it so much we ended up moving out there. They bought property, built a house there. So I ended up going to school there. Went to high school in 29 Palms High School. And then from there, went to the College of the Desert down in Palm Desert. A buddy of mine, we're working at the Desert Springs Marriott. And then obviously working on a degree. I was just getting my degree in business and finance, that type of thing. So then how I chose that degree at the time, I don't even remember, but I just thought, that might be a good field to get into because I wasn't, an electrical engineer type of person or doctor or lawyer type of person. I just, again, I don't know if I picked that out of a hat or whatever, but anyway, we ended up transferring to Cal State Fullerton and living in Fullerton and ended up, going to University of Phoenix, doing work there. And anyway, long story short, that's how I ended up in Orange County. And then as I was getting my degree, I coincidentally got a job working for an estate planning company. And that was just an ad that I answered out of in a newspaper. And I figured, maybe this will help me with my schooling. I'll learn some things. So then that's where I got my foot in the door with estate planning, finances, because I just actually, back then just got a job in-house. I was working in-house, like administrative stuff, but then later on was able to then work my way up into doing, helping people with like trusts and wills and then investments and all the rest of it. So that's kind of how I got my foot in the door.
So was money a big deal? Did your family have money? What's your outlook on money? Has it changed over the years? And my guess as a retirement planner, it probably has gone, wow, I wish I would have put a little bit more money away. And as a lot of people think, probably getting closer to retirement.
Well, here's the thing. Growing up, my parents didn't have a lot of money. We were, I guess, middle class, but, my dad, at the time he had worked construction and, jobs were always on and off. So it was never consistent. So, there was times where, I'd see my mom, crying because she's got to, borrow money from my sister or whatever. And, so I can't say we were poor by no means, but, we weren't wealthy at all by any means. We had our rough times. I didn't really it didn't affect me too much as a kid because bottom line, at the end of the day, I always had food on the table and the roof over my head, and we always got by, But, as time went on, because of some of the struggles I saw my parents go through, I always felt like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur. Once I realized, the pilot thing didn't work out and the football career didn't work out, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll be a business owner. I want to be an entrepreneur, or maybe become a CEO of a company. So I figured, I want to make a lot of money. So that's what you're thinking as a young guy. Where can I make the most money? So it wasn't, and of course during that stage of me trying to start up, little businesses here and there and all the other stuff, I made a lot of bad decisions. I made a lot of wrong decisions. A lot of the stuff that I have learned over the years was through hard knocks, not because I was so smart, not because I was so intelligent or had a gift. No, it was because I stubbed my toe a bunch of times. The only difference is that, I learned to say, okay, I don't want to do that one again. And then I just kept moving on. So I'm kind of like a bull. I just keep pushing through. But at least I learned from the mistakes and try not to repeat those things.
Yeah, so you've been in the financial world for over 20 years. You, Reed, Eddie, you guys start Safeguard Investment Advisor Group back in 2008. How did that come about?
Okay, so when I told you, like in college, I started working with an estate planning company. That's where I met Reed. So Reed and we met in our early 20s. So then obviously from there, we went to other companies and we were advancing our career, but we always remained friends, whether we were working at the same company or different company. I know Reed has worked for Bank of America, and he also worked for Farmers and Merchants, and I was working at some other companies. But at the end of the day, as we started learning more and more, Reed ended up going out on his own, and I was planning on going out on my own because what made us go out on our own was we realized that when we were working for an institution, they train you on what they want you to know, and they don't teach you anything outside the box. So they just say, hey, here's these products, we want you to offer these clients, and here's the advantages of them. And, so as we over the years, became more educated, and then we started on our own going to like different seminars, symposiums, and learning more and more about the industry, we realized, hey, wait a minute, there's a whole nother world out here where we can actually better fine tune products and investments to the client's specific needs. So as we got more and more educated, we decided, hey, you know what, we should go on our own to be able to offer more than just, how would I explain this? Sometimes when you work for these institutions and you have come across a client, they're trying to make a square peg fit in a round hole. Well, we're like, we don't want to be, a one-trick pony, for lack of better terminology. We wanted to be able to offer a broad spectrum of services and be able to fine tune the products to the client regardless of the institution. So we wanted to be able to give the client kind of best of breed, the best of whatever's out there based on their scenario. So when we ended up deciding going out on our own, we decided to partner up. And of course, Reed had already known Eddie at that time. Eddie lived up in Northern California because Reed met him at a different company. But so we decided to partner up and pool our resources together rather than us setting up 3 different individual entities. We could just, pool our resources together, create one entity and work it that way. And it would make it much easier for us. I don't want to say much easier for us, but made it a little bit easier pulling our resources together as opposed to separate little islands.
So
that's why we chose a partner up.
It makes sense. So final question in this segment, then we'll talk more about it in the next segment. But from when you started in 2008 to 2024, how much has Safeguard Investment Advisor Group changed? I mean, because we learn every day. We're always learning. Then you have clients come in with different issues. So you're learning about your clients all the time. You're trying to put them in the best tools possible, which is why you guys started your own company. So you weren't kind of limited to those tools that were, hey, you got to sell them one of these tools. We know there's better tools out there for them, but those aren't available. So you have to sell them these tools.
Great question.
Yeah.
Great question. Here's the thing. We have been consistently evolving and adapting based upon the environment, based on what's important to clients, because what might have been important to clients 20 years ago, you're right. Circumstances change, environments change, economic conditions change. So we're always consistently learning from our own clients. 80% of the stuff that we do for our clients or that we've learned and enhanced our practice is because of things that we've learned from our own clients. 80% of the stuff that we use in our practice, I should say, is because of stuff that we've learned from our own clients' experiences. And the one thing that I want to stress upon is that we specialize in retirement planning. That's what we do. So Reed, Eddie, and I, we probably spend, I'm just going off the top of my head, probably at least 30 grand a year at least on our continuing education to stay up on retirement-centric issues above and beyond what we're required to do for our continuing education. And even with us doing that, we probably learn, no, not probably, we definitely learn more just from our own clients' experiences and what they've gone through, and we can share them with other clients. So when somebody's getting ready to retire, we can say, hey, here's what you can expect. Here's what you should do. Here's where you have no surprises. So we're constantly evolving because things are changing around us all the time. So yeah, it's a big difference between 2008 and now for sure.
Yeah, and it makes sense. And you think about it. If you're going to sit down and talk with somebody about your retirement, should you talk to a company that actually works in the retirement world, that's their focus, like Safeguard Investment Advisor Group? And then can they help you? Well, they don't really know until you reach out, but you're certainly going to get some clarity into your position, your situation. Hey, you could have retired 5 years ago. Hey, I don't think you can retire for another 5 years. We don't know, but maybe there's a little tool here or there that Rick and the team can help that can make a difference. And Rick always says this. If you come in and sit down with him, he will guarantee you that he will give you 2 ideas that will enhance whatever it is you are currently doing. There's no cost for this. Why would you not take advantage? 800-700-1980. 800-700-1980. No obligation, no pressure. It's just an opportunity for you to find out more, get some clarity into your retirement picture. 800-700-1980. More of the Big Picture Retirement Show with Rick Rivera of Safeguard Investment Advisory Group right after this.
You're listening to the Big Picture Retirement Show with Rick Rivera. For more information about Rick and the Safeguard Investment Advisory Group team, go to safeguardinvestment.com. While you're there, you can also download educational retirement guides and sign up for an upcoming seminar. That's safeguardinvestment.com. Now, back to the podcast.
Welcome back to the Big Picture Retirement Show with Rick Rivera. Rick is a partner at Safeguard Investment Advisory Group, along with Reed Abedin, Eddie Soda. You can find out more on the website, safeguardinvestment.com. You can always give them a call if you have questions about, boy, I think I've got enough. I hope I've got enough. Can I retire? Well, when can I retire? Do I have enough? Will it last as long as I need it to? A lot of concerns we have about retirement. Why not talk to a retirement planning team when you're talking about your retirement? Hopefully you only retire one time. You get it right. Well, to do that, one of the great advantages is sitting down with a retirement planning team like Safeguard Investment Advisor Group. 800-700-1980. If you'd like to chat with them, there's no cost. You got questions, you got concerns, 800-700-1980. I'm Mark Kelly. Glad you're with us. So let's talk about when somebody does call, 800-700-1980. You always say, hey, I'll guarantee you I'll give you 2 ideas that will enhance whatever it is you're currently doing, which is a great opportunity. There's no cost for them to come in anyway. What should people expect by picking up the phone and calling you? Because it's hard. We're used to procrastinating. Boy, we really need a plan, but we could put it off for a little bit longer. We procrastinate. Let's alleviate some of their stress about sitting down with you. Because I think a lot of people think, oh, it's a Safeguard Investment Advisor Group. I don't have enough money to sit down with them. Or, hey, they're just going to try to sell me something. He just wants to get my money. That's not what retirement planning is all about, is it?
Not at all. There's a difference between going to an institution and having them just do a product sale. You're like, we're going to put my money and make more money. And they're like, I got this stock or this mutual fund or this whatever investment. And here, we're going to tell you the great things about it. And they put you into that product. That's a product sale, because at the end of the day, we got to put context behind what we're investing. And here's what they can expect if they give us a call. Number one, they can expect no sales pitches because we're not a sales organization. They can expect no cost because when we say now on the initial consultation, no cost, we mean there's no cost, no products are mentioned, nothing is sold to you. It's just strictly an opportunity where you can come in and actually let down your guard, because nobody's going to, you leave your checkbooks and all that behind. And you can actually ask us, or me personally, you can actually ask to speak with me personally, because you're going to say, hey, Rick, I know on the radio show you said you're going to do this. So stick to my word. You come in and maybe ask me questions about your particular situation, or concerns about your particular situation. And if you want, I can even ask you some questions, because I've been doing this long enough. Ask you some questions, get an idea of your overall scenario. Once I understand your overall scenario, and again, I've been doing this long enough, I know exactly what questions to ask you to figure out what goals, objectives, all that other stuff. Then I can actually pinpoint things that I think might be able to enhance your situation. If there's areas that I feel, hey, listen, you know what? We can't bring value here. There's nothing for me to do. I'll let you know that. And if there's areas where we think, hey, here's some things, strategies you might be able to implement on your own. Here's what you need to do. It costs you nothing to do. Now, if we feel, hey, listen, you know what? I need to do a deeper dive into your situation. I need to review your tax. I need to review the investments. I may have to run a mock tax return for you. And maybe I need to educate you on certain things. Then I can actually do an analysis, and I'm happy to do it. Do the analysis, have you come back, review everything with you, educate you on your investments, what fees you're paying, what risks you're taking, what returns you're getting, how taxes are going to be, how you can maximize pension, Social Security, all those things. And that's going to take a little time to go over. I'm even happy to do that, no cost. But during that consultation, I might make 5 or 6 recommendations, and I'll let you know in that consultation, okay, here's what it's going to cost to do this, and this. Then you and your wife or yourself, you can go home, think about it, call me back, say, hey, Rick, you know what? I know you made these 5 recommendations. I really love, these first 3, these other 2, I got some questions about. Can we kind of go over? Everything is upfront. There's nothing to hide. And, we never want to move forward until you completely understand everything that it is that we're doing, that you're educated. You're never gonna take any of my recommendations because I say it's good for you. You're gonna take our recommendations because you understand it, you know the advantages, you know the disadvantages. You'll be able to make an educated decision, not because you like me, not because Rick is a good guy, not because Rick has a nice office. You're only because we showed you things in black and white, and it makes sense for your particular situation. And you said something earlier, Mark. You said, earn trust. Trust is earned. And the only way you earn that is by educating the client and making sure that they're able to make an empowered decision. So it's very easy going here. No pressure at all whatsoever. So if they're looking for an opportunity to actually get a true second opinion from a fiduciary and have that big picture looked at, and making sure that nothing is going to be missed and they don't want to get caught by surprises later on down the road, I don't know what else to offer. That's exactly what they can expect.
Yeah, and the big picture blueprint that Rick will create with you, not for you. You don't leave all your statements there and say, okay, create my plan. Because it's really about you. How are you going to spend your time? What are you going to do? What's your lifestyle like? Are you going to travel? You're not going to travel. You're going to get an RV. What are you going to do? That's really what it's about. It's about connecting with an individual or a couple for Rick and the team. How can they help? So it's income, it's investment, it's taxes, it's healthcare, it's long-term care, it's legacy planning, it's Social Security, it's Medicare. A lot of decisions to make. And one of the things that I'd like to say that it's not you giving them a plan and saying, do this. It is, here are your options in this area of income or taxes or healthcare, whatever it is, that there are so many options out there that people that don't work with retirees all the time, like you and the team at Safeguard, is we don't understand all those different areas. You're really here to kind of, as you say, educate, but really to help us learn and understand, to help us make decisions that we're comfortable with and that are right for our situation. Yes?
Correct. And if I may even make me give an analogy, it's kind of like, you walk into the doctor's office, he's going to conduct some tests. He's going to do take blood work, take, x-rays, whatever he does, he's going to conduct some tests. And then based upon the results of those tests and his analysis, he then can prescribe you the proper medication to address that. as opposed to you just walking into the doctor's office and you tell the guy, hey, listen, I got some pain in my shoulder. He's like, oh, you know what? I got this aspirin or I got this medication. Here, this will take your pain away. Just take this. Well, so it's kind of like that. If you walk into an institution and, in the first meeting, they're already recommending investment products to you without reviewing your taxes, without understanding your pensions, without just understanding how those investments can affect your Social Security down the road, and your R&Ds and all the rest of it, and your medical costs and all the rest of it. They whatever they recommend to you on the investment side could have a positive or negative impact on other aspects of your planning. So it's really, again, analyzing your scenario, educating you on it, and then prescribing the appropriate tool or the appropriate medication for what you need.
So we could go on and on about all the things that you do for clients at Safeguard Investment Advisory Group, but the really interesting part, I think, is that you can help people in the Wall Street world, right? Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, all that kind of stuff. But you can also help them in the insurance world. And it's not there's no single silver bullet tool for retirement. That's why it's it's about the conversation you have with your prospective clients and your clients to help lead them down the right path.
Absolutely. And, some of you listening to the show right now, maybe you work for Kaiser, maybe you work for the gas company, maybe you have CalPERS, CalSTRS, and you're like, hey, you know what? I'm on the windfall, and I heard that, I'm not going to get all my Social Security. Some of you, you have the pensions and you're like, some of my colleagues are telling me I should take the lump sum. The other colleagues are telling me, you should take that annuity, that monthly amount, and you're like, what's best for me? What's my sweet spot? Others are telling you, no, take Social Security at 62, take it at, the later age 70, but what is perfect for you? Sit down with us, give us 45 minutes, and I can promise you, I've been doing this long enough, I hate to sound like a broken record, that I can at least give you, like Mark said, at least 2 ideas that will enhance what it is that you're doing. You'll get something out of it, no cost, no obligation. Give us a call, 800-700-1980, and ask for me personally, Rick Rivera. Again, that number is 800-700-1980.
Firm offers insurance services. Safeguard Investment Advisory Group, LLC is a registered investment advisory firm. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This radio show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Safeguard Investment Advisory Group, LLC is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Safeguard Investment Advisory Group, LLC.